Hey guys, hadn't done a video in a few days. I have been trying to get Matilda here ready for the rod run. Now I took it up there, I put a big price on it. The car did not sell, but I only got to take it Saturday. I had a lot of unexpected things come up this week and kind of had to deal with that, but it's been a good week. I got a lot done to the car. I put a rear end in this car. Didn't really expect to have to do that. It was leaking some oil from the seals, and these seals are actually on the bearings on these rear ends. But anyway, had a good rear end that looks like it had been gone through, so we threw that in the car, and it's done great. I drove it up to the rod run Saturday morning and back to my house, which is a little over 200 miles that I put on the car Saturday. And like I said, it done really good. No issues whatsoever. The only issue I've had with the car is the gas gauge. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Well, give me just a second here. Right here, the gas gauge. So, we done a little bit of welding on the car. On the passenger side rocker, we fixed a little spot, and we fixed a little spot in the floor up here. And we left the battery hooked up. Now, I don't know that that's what happened to the gas gauge. Maybe it was just a coincidence and it went bad. But anyway, the gas gauge went bad. Mr. PIB gave me this one, and I hooked it up. I didn't check it. I should have. It's my own stupid fault. But anyway, this gas gauge was shorted out and it burnt my wire, the hot wire, down a pretty good ways, but I found it pretty easily and I replaced it with another piece of wire. You can see here where I replaced it, but it's all good. I just have to get another gauge, either get this gauge rebuilt or buy a new set of maybe Dakota Digitals or something. I'm on the fence about it. I don't really know what I want to do, because I have a guy from Mississippi, and he seemed to be pretty serious on the car at the rod run. Now, who knows? May not ever hear from him again, but he has 4 1959 Kingswood wagons, 4 of them. He showed me pictures of them. He had 2 cars at the big show, and all he had was one enclosed car hauler, and he had to haul his show cars back on that car hauler. And he told me he'd be getting with me this coming weekend, possibly. He didn't make any promises or anything, so we'll see what happens. I don't really care. Like I said, the more I drive this car, the more I just love it. I've never gotten more attention at the rod run than I did at this one with this car. Like I said, a whole lot of people were taking pictures of it. A few guys were videoing me coming down the strip in it, and one girl actually kind of laid across the hood and took a picture. Had somebody take a picture of her. You know, maybe a little bit rude just to lay across somebody's hood, but it didn't hurt anything. I didn't really say nothing. You know, it just is what it is. You get that a lot at the rod run. Mr. PIB can tell you a story about a bunch of kids jumping in a really nice car and, you know, just playing in it, kind of acting like they was driving or whatever. I don't really remember the whole story, but, you know, again, Mr. PIB can probably tell you about that. When you take these cars to the rod run, especially something like this with this penetrol on it, a lot of people don't understand penetrol. They don't know what it is, and they see it shiny and they just want to rub on it. So there have been more hands on this car this weekend than there's ever been. I was sitting pretty close to the car, and I was just kind of watching people, and of course they were all rubbing on it and trying to figure out, you know, if it was clear coated or whatever. I didn't mind. You're not going to hurt this old car. That's what I like about this patina stuff. You don't really freak out about it like that. My dad's got a super nice 69 Camaro that's black, and if I had it up there and somebody was running their hand across the fender, I would probably, you know, kind of lose it a little bit. But again, something like this, that's the fun of it. You don't worry yourself to death, and it's just a lot of fun. Hang on just a minute. I've got to get the gas gauge fixed on this car. It's on the back burner right now. Of course, I don't have a gauge, so The next one I'm going to fool with is going to be Tim Dixon's 1970 Camaro. I'm going to try to set my tripod up. I have a tripod, and of course I have the lift now, so we're going to set the tripod up, maybe show y'all what I'm doing to it. It probably won't be real interesting to y'all, but do some videos. Y'all can check them out. Maybe it'll help you, maybe it won't. And I'm going to jump over here to the Oldsmobile. Give me just a second. Okay, here's the Oldsmobile. This is going to get a little bit of attention once Tim Dixon's Camaro is done. So I've got some decisions to make. This is a Oldsmobile hubcap. I want to say this came off of a 54 or 56 or something. But anyway, I've had these put up in my building for a little while, and I thought about maybe getting some different tires, maybe even trying to find, you know, maybe a white wall or something, and maybe running these old 50s model hubcaps. They do say Oldsmobile on them. I don't know. I don't particularly like the look of the hubcap, but I think maybe with some different tires and the car lower down just a little bit, maybe it'd be kind of cool. I don't know. I could always just paint the wheels, maybe paint them white or something. I don't know. I don't want to go throwing a whole lot of money at the car just because this car, I think, will be, I think its purpose will be better served, I guess, if I just fix it as cheap as I can and pass it on to the next guy. Maybe somebody can have some fun with it this summer, running around to some little local cruise ins or something. I don't know. So anyway, that's just one little option. Again, these 50s model Oldsmobile hubcaps. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it actually says Oldsmobile around that little knob sticking out. But anyway, give me y'all's opinion on that hubcap. Again, I'm a little standoffish with it, but I think with some different tires and the car lowered just a little bit, maybe that would be kind of cool. Maybe not. I don't know. It don't really matter. I may just end up painting the steel wheels white or black or something and lowering it a little bit, and just letting the next guy maybe figure out what kind of wheel setup he wants. The less money I put in this car, of course, the cheaper I can sell it. And this is a really cool car. I just have too many to fool with, and this one's really not on the top of my priority list. So I'd like to get the car fixed as cheap as I can, sell it as cheap as I can, and I would love to see this car at some local cruise ins. Maybe I can come up and see it, you know, see somebody put their little touches on it. You could do anything with this car. You could, you know, put you some lettering on the doors, on the top of the fender here. You can kind of see the body lines on it. I don't know. You could do anything you want to do with this car, and you're not going to hurt it. So again, all I want to do, get it running and driving and stopping, and pass it on to the next guy as cheap as I can and let them enjoy it. I've advertised the car like it sits. It runs really good, but you can't drive it. The brakes don't work, needs the fuel system gone through. Not a huge deal for me. I don't have a lot of time, and I've just sort of, again, tried to just go ahead and sell it like it sits, but not really had any bites. So we're going to get it running and driving, go through the brakes, go through the fuel system, run it up and down the road, and sell it that way. And again, maybe somebody can enjoy the car, and at least, you know, get the car back on the road. That's the most important thing. Even if I don't make any money at all, if I break even, I'm happy. As long as the old car is back up on its feet, going up and down the road. I love saving this old junk, you know, stuff that a lot of people would just sort of, you know, set to the side, or, you know, part it out or junk it. I love getting it back on the road, getting it running and driving, and I really like seeing them going up and down the road. I like seeing people enjoy something that I put back on the road, if that makes any sense. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all watching again. I'm gonna try to get started on Tim's Camaro tomorrow. Just, you know, kind of a little heads up, we're just gonna possibly drop the tank. I'm going to try to siphon some gas out of it. That's all Tim really wanted me to do. Look and see what the gas looks like, and if it looked pretty good, just leave it alone. The car has sat for a long time, so I'd say we'll end up dropping the tank. We got to check the sending unit. I know he wants the gas gauge working, put a battery on the car, try to get it started. Of course, we got to go through all the brakes. The brakes are up, so that's a big plus, but we're going to go ahead and redo everything. Calipers, pads. I don't know that he got rotors, probably not, but the rotors are probably just fine. We'll probably go ahead and take the wheel bearings out and just grease them up good and make sure they're all right. Get the car just somewhat dependable, so if Angie wants to run down to the store and back, she can, and then Tim can kind of start doing the metal work, you know, get it to the point to where he can at least start it, pull it in and out of the garage instead of having to push it. That's aggravating. That's kind of where I'm at with this one. So as soon as I get the Camaro out, this one's going to go in, as long as nothing else stupid comes up, and we'll get started on this thing. As always, guys, I appreciate you watching, and hopefully I can get a little more interesting content here real soon. We'll catch you on the next one. See you later.